Now, we do cover a lot of Japanese games here at New Game Plus, and this is probably the first one that I come to you with something of a confession. I'm going into this basically blind. Usually I've got a pretty good idea of what game we're talking about, but I do know this one is made by Nippon Ichi, so that's the penny punching princess people, so that's a pretty good start. I know the game is called Witch in a Hundred Night 2. That's something, isn't it? But I figured I'll bring Shane in to explain what about the game is worth or worth not playing. Shaney, tell us about it. What are we looking at here?
So let's go back to Witch in a Hundred Night 1. That game come in, like, it was a new concept for, I guess, for Nippon Ichi. It was much more of an action-based. There was a lot of still grinding because it's a Nippon Ichi game, but it was kind of an action-based RPG where you've got dodging, you've got different kind of weapons, and you're kind of comboing all these weapons into like one kind of string, and then you've got specials on top of it. Normal like action RPG kind of stuff. Yeah. One had its weaknesses in the sense that I guess Nippon Ichi kind of, on their first game that they try something new, there's a few things that just say,
you don't sand off all the edges.
Sand off a few things. That said, the story was still surprisingly really, really good. And if you want to play this game, I'd still probably recommend going back to 1 because the story was really nice. Now, coming into 2, things are much more fleshed out. It feels a lot nicer to even play. And the story is still really, really nice. And maybe even better than 1 just because 1 had a bit of a slow start. This jumps straight into the action.
So I guess that is the question then. Having said that, it does come straight into it. Do you then have to have played number 1 in order to embrace the game? Like, did you think that it matters enough that you have to go back and play the old one?
Probably not, because the stories, while they've got small like elements where they, talk to each other, kind of like stuff like that, there's not much that they actually in the same kind of
so they're
universe.
In the same universe.
In the same universe, but it's like, different characters, totally different story, and it still is nice to play even though you haven't actually touched 1.
So I guess with that said, like, can you say, like, with the action combat and stuff like that, have they evolved it in any way, or have they just basically just polished it up and said, here it is?
There's a few things that they really have like adjusted with some of the weapons and stuff. They just feel much nice, flowing. Even the movement speed itself has kind of felt a little bit nicer, touched up in speed. Yeah. So you feel much more actiony in a sense, rather than just the kind of grinding slowness to Nippon Ichi. And there's a few other things that they brought in, like there's basically you can almost, if you finish one combo string, you can like engulf an enemy and you get like kilojoules, which is like your energy. It's kind of almost like a phone game in a sense that you've got energy also that you have to watch out for, as well as health. And
so a little bit Lost Planet in that sense.
In a sense, yeah, but it's a little bit more cartoonish and funner. And much more interesting experience. Like, you've got to actually kind of adjust with your kilojoules to how much you actually want to explore or even grind a little bit, as well as like you've got to watch out that if you run out of kilojoules and health, you basically have lost all of your like kind of progress and stuff like that. Whereas if you just like die on health, you just go back a little bit, lose about like 20% of like your progress and stuff. So it's much more like based around your energy consumption.
It's also more punishing as well.
Yeah. This is like a really, maybe not like punishing in the sense that like you can also get more food and stuff like that, which is fine. But it seems a little bit annoying in just how much you can actually progress and sometimes, and you just want to go a little bit further and stuff like that. That said, the art style is still amazing. The soundtrack's still amazing also because it's Nippon Ichi, and who would have expected it?
Yeah, who would have thought, hey. But so still worth a look even if you haven't played the first one?
Definitely still worth a look at if you haven't played the first one. It's still a great action RPG just to play around and fun with. And it's still got plenty of content because it's a Nippon Ichi game, so you can just grind forever.